Live via satellite from the entertainment capital of the world. It's Rockline, North America's #1 rock radio program. Hi, I'm Bob Coburn. Rockline is brought to you by the Big O, Overstock.com. Your online outlet is selling great products at savings up to 70% off retail prices. Log on today, the Big O, Overstock.com. Tonight, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, we welcome Rush. To speak with Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee, call the toll-free Rockline at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free in the U.S. and Canada. And now, let's welcome our guests. Rush in Rio is the brand new double DVD and triple CD from Rush. And joining us tonight to talk about it, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. Geddy, Alex, how are you tonight?
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Sorry I couldn't make it to Toronto this evening. It's great to have you on Rockline, however.
It's great to be back.
Thank you.
Now, we have posted on rocklineradio.com, our website. We would have a special announcement for you guys tonight, and we'll discuss Rush and Rio extensively this evening. But first, I want to address the rumor that Rush is calling it quits and will not tour again. It's the exact opposite, isn't it?
Yes, we're not calling it quits, and we will tour again.
And when might that be?
We're going to go out next year. It's our 30th anniversary, so we decided we were going to celebrate that by putting together another show and doing a limited number of dates in the United States and Europe.
When will the dates be announced, and how do we find out about them and get tickets and that type of thing?
Well, that's all very technical. I don't think I know the answer to that question.
We have to make the tickets first.
You have to print them up.
We got a bunch of pens, and we got to get Neil up here, and then we're going to start writing them out.
Nothing like that.
As soon as we're done.
Nothing like that personal touch to get a ticket for a Rush concert, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
I would imagine that Rush.com will have the information as soon as it is available.
That's
well
said.
Mid-late May start, I think.
I knew there was a reason I was here tonight to help clarify these things with you guys. Now,
we know what we're doing. We just don't know when and where.
Well, every band that I speak with, it's, well, when do you leave? I don't know. They tell me when the car is coming, and I get in the car, and then I disappear for the next 4 months, and then I come home again. So
they have cars?
They have cars, yes. Welcome to the new millennium.
We just get vans.
You get a van, huh? Now, you said a limited number of shows. How limited are we talking about here?
Well, we don't know yet, but I think around 30, maybe 35 shows in America, and probably another, 10 shows or so in Europe.
Oh, it's been a long time since you've gone to Europe.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting back there. We've been very negligent of our European fans for many years, and we're trying to correct that now.
Now, there are some Canadian locations, too, where you guys have not been in a while. You're going to try and include some dates where it's been a while since Rush fans...
Yeah, well, we always try. We never seem to make it, but we'll try.
As long as the effort is there, that's all that counts. So, 30th anniversary tour. Tickets will be available soon. You can go to Rush.com, and hopefully you'll be close to one of those cities. And knowing Rush fans, if you're not, you will fly to whatever city is close to you, or drive, or take a car. Yeah, they have those now, Alex. So you can take one of those.
Take a van.
Mm-hmm. Take a van.
Vans are comfortable.
Take whatever you can and make it to the Rush.
It's just all the hanging clothes and stuff, and dry cleaning. And
well, we can throw that in your stuff on stage, and that'll take care of that. We'll just throw them in your dryers on stage. Now, I got to ask you about the Rush and Rio double DVD and triple CD. You guys did this without a sound check? How did that come about?
Well, it was an horrible night in Brazil. We didn't plan on not having a sound check, but originally we were going to film this in the United States in the last leg of the American tour. And we ended up having a problem with the venue, and so at the last minute we canceled that, and we thought, well, where are we going to film? We really wanted to have a film version of that tour because things were going so well, and it had been a while since we'd done a video of any kind. So someone suggested, what about Brazil? And we said, well, that could be great. It could be colorful. We didn't know what to expect from the crowd or from the venues or anything like that, having never been there before. But we thought, well, okay, it'll make it an interesting shoot anyway. So they organized it for the very last day of the tour, which was in Rio. And I think we underestimated, what would be at our disposal from a technical point of view in terms of production. And when we did the show in São Paulo the night before, The shows there start very late. I mean, I think we go on stage about 10 o'clock, 10:30 there. So we finished our 3-hour show, and then it started to rain in the São Paulo show, and so everything ended up getting to Rio very, very late. And bottom line is, by the time they got the show set up and the video equipment set up and all the lights for the filming and all that, it was showtime, and it was already about 10:30 at night. So we had to go on without a film check, without a live sound check, without a recording truck sound check. It was just completely cold. And the crowd had already been in the venue for about, 3 hours, 4 hours. So they were ripe and ready to rock. So we just basically went on cold and crossed our fingers.
Did you ever expect a crowd like that? The crowd that you see in the DVD, it's insane.
They were amazing through the entire, the 3 shows we did in Brazil, they were like that. The show in São Paulo was in fact more people. We had about 55,000 people for that show, and they were incredible. And we played in Porto Alegre as well, and they were also a tremendous crowd. So we were not prepared for that. We didn't realize that we were A, so popular, and B, that they were so exuberant.
Yeah, and very knowledgeable. They really knew the band, really knew the material. Quite a young crowd. They also had shoes. They were all wearing shoes. And they don't speak a lot of English, and they sang just about every song.
They sing YYZ, and it's an instrumental.
Yeah. They wrote parts for our song, our instrumental songs, and they would sing them. And it was like the whole crowd knew what was happening. I don't know whether those are popular soccer tunes that they sing but it was just amazing. They were just really an amazing crowd.
Double DVD, triple CD, and we will start with Working Man from Rush in Rio on Rockline. Working Man, Rush in Rio, the double DVD and triple CD. We'll let you talk with Geddy and Alex next. The number is toll-free 1-800-344-ROCK. You're listening to Rockline. And welcome back. Rockline returns. It's an evening with Geddy and Alex of Rush. Our number is toll-free for you, 1-800-344-ROCK. We'll talk about the Rush in Rio DVD and the triple CD and all kinds of things. And I am having a technical problem on my end, so I am not quite sure who the first caller is. And it will be Dan from Boston, Massachusetts. Hi, Dan. Welcome to Rockline.
Hi, thanks. Hello, Geddy and Alex.
Hi there, Dan.
Hi, quick thank you for all the hard work to you and all your crew for getting the CD and DVD out there. It is magnificent. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And my question is, when you guys listened to the finished product of Rush in Rio, which tracks stood out to each of you?
Well, that's a good question. Mr. Producer, what do you think?
That's tough because I've heard all these songs 700,000 times last summer. What's the, I can't, The Pass I thought sounded really good.
I like the whole Resist moment.
Yeah, Resist.
That sounds great. And
Natural Science
was
great.
Secret Touch as well, I thought came out really well.
Oh, hell, the whole thing.
The whole darn thing, yeah. How long did you spend mixing this, Alex?
Oh, shouldn't ask that question. Well, how much time you got?
We started with the DVD. There was some preliminary work done earlier in the year, and then we decided to wait until all the video editing was done so that we could mix the picture. We went into the studio, and we had some technical difficulties. So after 3 weeks of mixing, we packed it in, moved to another studio, and started all over again. And we were there for 5 weeks. And we started out originally really just doing the DVD, and then the CD was an afterthought, so that required a whole other set of mixes, and that's why it just kept going on and on and on. But we really had to capture the spirit of the show and what we think the band sounds like, because we never hear ourselves. The idea was really to get the impression that you were sitting 12th row center and sense the electricity of the audience all around you and the show, and be a part of the whole thing, the whole energy that's created. Mission accomplished. You feel like you're there. A lot of these DVDs, and we researched a bunch of them, they sound really great, but they sound like they've been mixed from the band's perspective, and they're usually quite clean and clear, and the crowd comes in and out in certain spots, and we really wanted to create more of that intense energy that we see when we look out at the audience.
The crowd on there is hard to ignore, so they're really vocal. Dan, thanks for calling tonight. We'll talk to Bill in Ventura, California. Bill, you're on Rockline with Rush.
Hello.
Hello, Bill.
You're not. Are you the Bill?
I am the Bill.
Hey, nice talking to you again.
Nice talking to you again. My question is, who came up with the album artwork for the Rush and Rio DVD, and what's the Dragon theme all about?
Well, that was there's an interesting kind of timeline about that Dragon. Originally, when we did Hugh Syme, who does all our artwork for our album covers, came up with our original Vapor Trails cover. There was this, ball of fire and this wisp of smoke, and one of the versions of the album cover on the very back in the corner was a very small little dragon, and it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek little moment, and we didn't end up using that for the album cover, but when we were preparing things for the rear screen projection and preparing our Vapor Trails tour, I couldn't get that little guy out of my mind, and I kept thinking it was a kind of a fun image to try to exploit, and so we ended up making a number of pieces of film to fit with the song One Little Victory based on this character, and we kind of brought that little dinosaur character to life, and he became quite a big part of the Vapor Trails tour. It was one of those moments that the crowd really loved a lot. And when it came time to do this DVD, he just kind of became the icon for that tour, so it seemed appropriate to use him on the cover of this collection. And Hugh Syme came up with the dinosaur pretending he's Carmen Miranda.
Yes, he's been Carmen Mirandized.
Yeah, he's been Mirandized.
That's
so
right.
That's the story of our friend the Dragon.
We have read him his rights, and he is in the limelight on Rockline. It's Rush Live, Rush and Rio, Limelight, of course, the name of that song. We'll let you speak with Alex and Geddy in just a moment. The encore question is coming up as well, left by Leonard Skinner last week. You're listening to Rockline. And welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. It's an evening with Rush with Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, and your calls toll-free at 1-800-344-ROCK. You can find out more about Rockline and upcoming shows at rocklineradio.com. Next week, it's a Jimi Hendrix special with Eddie Kramer, the engineer who worked with Jimi on so many of his albums and knew Jimi so well, and Billy Cox, who played bass in Jimi's band toward the latter part of Jimi's career. And then we have a couple of holiday encores in store for you with Jimmy Page and Steve Miller. Time now for the encore question left last week for Rush by Leonard Skinner.
Hey guys, this is Johnny Van Zant.
And this is Ricky Medlock.
And Gary Rossington
of Leonard Skinner. And let me tell you, we got something we want to ask you guys, We're always getting asked where we got our name from. Well, I got one for you now. We're curious about where you got your name from. Like Rush. I get a rush when I listen to Leonard Skinner tunes. Do you get a rush when you listen to Rush tunes? So come on, guys, fess up. It's time to give it up now. Where did you get your name from?
And don't tell us it was your old gym coach.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
It was only asked 9 times.
Where did we get our name from? I can't recall, quite frankly.
Well, it goes way back. The summer of 68. Never mind the summer of 69.
Which has been already taken, yes.
That's right. We'll take the summer of 68. And it was actually John Rutsey's brother, Bill, who suggested the name, because we were thinking of a name for the band that would be short to the point. And he suggested Rush. And we thought, that's an interesting name.
It's a fascinating story.
About 2 days later, we were walking down the street,
riveted here.
And we looked to each other and said, "What was the name again that Bill came up with?" "I don't know. Let's go ask him." So we went back to his place, and then we made some sandwiches, and we had some pop, and waited for Bill to come home from school. He came home, and we said, Bill, the other day we were talking, and I can't remember what we were talking about.
I've got to go now.
And Bill said, well, don't worry about it. So we left. About a week after that.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question, Leonard, or was it Skinner?
Yes, Mr. Skinner to you guys. Yes, and they are named after their own gym coach. So there you go. All right, a good four-letter word became the name for Rush. All right, here we are. We have you guys are in Toronto. So is Ralph. Ralph, you're on the air.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, thanks for giving us such a great memory of the tour. And
Pleasure.
my question is, has the Brazil experience inspired you guys to consider visiting other places never visited?
Well, that's actually, yes. I think next time we would like to go back to Brazil, and I think we'd like to expand that into Argentina and Chile, where we know we have some fans that have been wanting us to come down there for quite some time. So, yeah, it has inspired us to try to go more new places. It was really a great experience for us.
I have spoken with those who rave about Buenos Aires and being able to play there in the crowds there, and I assume Santiago would be a good spot for you guys as well.
Yeah, I've been to both those places on holiday, and they're wonderful places to visit, and I can imagine playing there would be just great.
Yeah, even the Brazilians said, you think we're crazy here. Wait till you go to Argentina.
Yeah, they'll show you something there. All right, Ralph, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's talk to Steve, who is in Lincoln, Nebraska. You're on Rockline with Rush.
Hi, Geddy. Hi, Alex.
Hey.
Hey, after attending the Vapor Trails tour, friends and I were wondering how many guitar changes did you do during that performance?
Me?
Yes, Alex.
Yeah, I don't play guitar.
I was waiting for Neil over there to say something.
Neil's looking rather feminine tonight, by the way.
Yeah, he won't talk.
I to be honest with you, I can't really remember, but I think it's somewhere like 20.
He's guessing. You're guessing. He doesn't know.
We had a guitar change in almost every song. There are very few consecutive songs where we didn't have changes. So what I did is I took the number of dates, number of shows, number of songs.
Okay, next caller. Thank you.
No more coffee for Alex tonight. Cut him off back there in Toronto. My goodness. Why do you change guitars so often? There are players that I see that play the same guitar the whole set, and it seems to work. Then there are others that change it out all the time. Yeah.
I used to do that, and then I lost my mind. You know what?
He's a guitarist.
When we were recording Vapor Trails, I had all my guitars in the studio. Normally I take most of them, but I had all of them in the studio. And I found that I just really enjoyed playing all of them, and I played quite differently one to the next. And I thought it would be kind of fun to take a bunch of guitars out on the road and, bring some guitars I hadn't had out for a long time, like my white 355, that big white Gibson. That's for working man and pie tour. It's the perfect guitar. So it was kind of nice to bring some of the older instruments out, and it just changes through the course of the night. The sound of the guitar changes with the different guitars, and it makes it a little more interesting for me, and keeps my tech on his toes.
I was going to say, it gives you a lot of gear to lug around across continents and from here to there and back again. Thank you very much, Steve. We'll talk to Dennis now as we head to Vegas. Always fun to head to Vegas. And Dennis, you're on Rockline.
Hello.
Hello.
From Sin City.
Hey, how are you?
My question is are you guys planning another studio album?
Well, we're talking about it, and eventually we'll get around to doing it. In fact, we were going to start writing, and then the idea of this 30th anniversary tour came up, and we can't do both. So, we'll definitely get around to it.
We announced at the beginning of the program that there is a 30th anniversary tour in store for 2004, and I hear there's a 30th anniversary calendar that's available now, too.
Apparently.
Yeah, we're topless.
You're topless. Excuse me. I want to talk to my crew for a second.
Why are you laughing so
Cancel
much,
my order
Bob?
for the calendar, guys, okay?
No, he means not wearing hats.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. What are you laughing about?
I don't know. I just tend to go other areas, I guess. Yeah.
Too many damn punas.
Yes. We'll play another song from Rush in Rio right now. I think it's time for some bravado on Rockline. Rush in Rio, that is bravado for you on Rockline. Great sound quality from the triple CD and also the double DVD, which is just outstanding. I really have enjoyed watching it the past few days. We have a call now from Massachusetts. It's Phil. Hi, Phil. You're on the show.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Geddy. Good evening, Alex. Good day.
How are you?
I just wanted to thank you for 30 incredible years of music, and I had a question for you. How do you determine whether you do newer or older material on the set list, and do you have a preference for either or?
Well, it's actually very difficult picking the songs for a set. Before the Vapor Trails tour, Alex and I sat down and listened to most of our records and most of the songs, even if you just get halfway through them, just to remind yourself what they're like and see if you could, which ones might work bringing them back. And we always, of course, want to play at least 3 or 4 songs from the new album because that's the stuff you're most excited about, and it's also the biggest challenge to perform that because it's new. But we also recognize that we have 30 years of history, a lot of albums, and a lot of fans come to the shows to hear particular songs that mean a lot to them. So we just try to balance it out, and it is a very difficult process. And when the first set list we usually end up with is about 4 hours long, and then we cut it back to 3 hours from there and hope that we've covered most of the bases. On the last tour, we started rotating songs on a nightly basis, changing a few here and there, and I think that works very well. It keeps us fresh, and it keeps the set changing, and I think that's something we would probably do in the future a little more.
We want the 4-hour show. Come on, give us the 4-hour show.
We're too old for 4 hours.
4 hours, my gosh. You guys had dropped Closer to the Heart, giving it a rest this time, but you brought it back for the Latino audiences, right? For Mexico first and then for Brazil as well.
Yeah, apparently it's a very popular song down there, so we thought we would bring it back. We hadn't played it, as you said, during the tour, and hadn't played it since the last tour, so we suddenly were stuck in this position where we had to rehearse it and learn it, and it was during sound check in Mexico City that we ran through it a couple of times, and it all came back surprisingly.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
But you do have to draw the line someplace, and I'm sure for Rush fans they'll go, well, where's this, where's that? But you got to look at what's on the DVD and the triple CD because it's just an outstanding selection, and it includes the spirit of radio. And welcome back to Rockline and Bob Coburn with Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. It is Rockline from Dayton, Ohio. Rob, it's your turn to talk to Alex and Geddy.
Hi, Geddy, Alex, and Bob. It's great to talk to you. My question is, with all the songs that you picked out for the DVD, I was curious if there was anything such as subdivisions or anything like that because of time constraints, you couldn't quite get on there that you would have liked to have gotten on the DVD?
Actually, everything on that DVD is exactly as we played that night. That's the complete show we did in Rio that night. In retrospect, there was about 4 other songs that we had been alternating through the show, through the tour, and why we didn't just play all of them that night. We just didn't think of it. And even though normally we just play, and I mean, those songs is about all we can handle. It's almost 3 hours worth of music, so we're pretty baffed by the end of it. But there was, 3 or 4 other songs we could have added to the show that night that for some reason we didn't think of doing, and that would have been nice to have all those songs recorded and filmed. But there you go.
Now, what were you trading off? What were you swapping out each night? Was Red Barchetta one of those?
No, we didn't play Red Barchetta, but we had a couple other new Songs. Like there was Beneath the Sun and Moon. That was one song that I don't know why we didn't play it as well that night. Vital Signs. We included those kind of on the CD as kind of bootleg versions of them, but they were just live recordings off the board, so they are kind of a couple of bonus tracks on the CD.
That's right.
But there was songs like Ceiling Unlimited, and I think there was one other new song that we were trading off. that would have been nice to include them in.
Well, you have the board bootlegs, which is nice, and a couple of Easter eggs in the DVD too. Which
yeah,
and the DVD has the 1 hour documentary too that Andrew McNaughton did, which was really kind of fun. I think he did a good job on that. I thought.
I thought he did as well. The whole thing is just a really nice package, and sonically and visually, it just turned out outstanding. And we thank Rob for his call. We talked to Andrew right now in Erie, Pennsylvania. You're on Rockline, Andrew.
Hey, how you guys doing this evening?
Great.
My question is, other than friends and family, what are you guys, the things that you miss most about home while you're on the road touring?
Really, that's it. Friends and family. I mean, there's also the sense of community that you have when you're living off the road. Like this last year, we took most of the year off, and you get into a routine within your neighborhood. You go to the tennis club. You have a different circle of friends and different kind of things that you do when you're just not thinking about work. So those are the things you miss, the routines of that. But they're easily, forgotten. The thing that you really miss is just your family.
Family, yeah.
The other thing too, this last tour was the first summer tour that we did. So being outdoors, playing outside, being out in the summer, it was a great time to tour for us. And really, that's the first time in 28 years or so that we have toured in the summer. So that made it easier being away from everyone else.
Well, that's
where
the
they
tough
were
part.
having summer,
and where they were having summer. Then you cross the equator, and suddenly the season changes on you. So
yeah.
But I'm sure are times where you fly the family down, or they join you on the road and get a little bit of that.
They come out from time to time, but it's hard when especially when you have young ones. It's hard to take them out of school and spend enough time with them, and you still got the gigs to do, and so it's not the same.
Andrew, thanks for checking in with us tonight, and we'll head to Seattle to speak with Valerie. Hi, Valerie.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hi, Val.
Hi, guys. I just gotta say, I love you. I've been a fan since I was 5 years old. I'm 18, so I just love you. Alex, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Which bands have you produced in the last 5 years, and who are they? And Geddy, what is the meaning behind both the Cygnus X1 songs?
Okay, you go first.
Wow, these are hard questions for this late. Let's see. Really, I only produced one band in the. Well, I did some work with Three Doors Down just prior to the release of their album. Did a few songs for B-sides. Unfortunately, I had nothing to do with the first album. That would have been fun. And the other thing I did was a band called Driver, just before we started working on Vapor Trails. And they were from the Pennsylvania area. And sadly, the album came out, and they started to do things, and then 9/11 happened, and things just shut right down for them.
That first Three Doors Down album was just outstanding, and they really enjoyed working with you. They still talk about it.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, they were here playing in Toronto not too long ago, and they came by for dinner, and we had a chance to just hang out and have some good laughs. They're really sweet guys. Very, very nice people.
They are really nice guys, and they got involved with the military who were taken overseas on this second album and kind of integrated with them. Now, I want to bring up something. Our president today here in the U.S. mentioned that when it comes to rebuilding Iraq, that certain countries are going to be excluded, and Canada is one of those. And I hear your incoming prime minister was a little bit upset about that. Have you guys heard anything about that today?
Yeah, I heard about that. I read it. But, that's kind of par for the course, what's been going on since Canada did not support the U.S. decision to go into Iraq unilaterally. There's been lots of cross-border bickering that's been going on since, so it really doesn't surprise me.
Well, Canada has put up $300 million already to help rebuild that area and has troops in Afghanistan. So I think you're
and many troops that have died in Afghanistan.
Absolutely.
So there's Canada is absolutely making an effort in this war on terrorism and doing its part. We're a small country, but we try to do our best.
We are going to go ahead, Geddy.
We have that second question that
Cygnus. That's right.
The Cygnus question
from Valerie.
Mm-hmm.
Cygnus began as kind of a fun, just sci-fi adventure, journey through the black hole, so to speak. And it expanded into the hemispheres concept. And when it did expand into hemispheres, it kind of took on a much loftier meaning in the sense. And hemispheres was really a kind of a battle between the heart and the mind. And it took, Neil used a lot of the whole Apollo Dionysus, mythology to express that. It was basically the rationale or the, rational thought versus emotional perspective. And that's what the concept of that whole concept album is. It's just the thing that human beings go through trying to balance their emotions and their intellect. And even though they are put in the picture of and the context of mythology, it really boils down to how difficult it is for human beings to get through their life and keep that in balance, keep your intelligence and your emotions working together without excluding the other.
And how cool for Valerie to have been a fan since she's 5 years old and be able to get on the Rockline and talk to you guys tonight. Valerie, thanks for the call. Time for a little victory from Rush. It's One Little Victory on Rockline. One Little Victory from Vapor Trails, that version obviously from Rush and Rio, the brand new DVD and CD. Did that song serve as kind of a rallying point at the beginning of this tour? I read something in the liner notes that Neil had written about the fact that you actually got the album out, got on stage, started another tour after everything that everyone had been through, and it felt like victory the opening night in Hartford, I believe he says in the liner notes.
Absolutely. It was very symbolic of the way things have been for him and the way things have been for us coming back together after all the stuff that's gone down the last number of years. So it was a rallying kind of tune.
And at the beginning of Rockline tonight, Geddy and Alex announced they will be touring next year, the 30th anniversary tour. Rush.com will have information. You can go there and find out what cities, when tickets go on sale, and all of that. From Plainfield, Illinois, Dan, welcome to the program.
Hi, guys. Thanks for an awesome tour and for releasing Rush and Rio. I was wondering if you would ever consider releasing any of your soundboard recordings.
That's really hard to say. It's, we spent a lot of time, and for example, Alex has already described how many hours he put into trying to make this live album sound as good as it possibly can and be such an accurate representation of what's on a Rush show. And when you record directly off the board, it's very difficult to reproduce a lot of the frequencies, especially the bottom end frequencies. They just get robbed. So even though we did it in a limited way on this CD package, we added these two kind of board mix songs. It's not something that I would be really too keen on taking very seriously because it's really not the best possible mix you can do. I mean, we did it for kind of a souvenir, and because we felt kind of bad that we didn't play all those extra songs that night in Rio, and I know a lot of fans would have liked to have heard them, so we kind of thought we'd throw it in there and see how it went. And they turned out pretty good, I think, considering what they are, but I don't think you can compare them sonically to what's on the rest of that record.
Oh, I don't think you can either, but thanks for including those. I mean, absolutely. And Alex, I have a question for you, mildly technical. Was the crowd so loud that they were going to be part of the mix anyway, or did you specifically address the crowd as, let's make it, like you said earlier in the show this evening, like you're sitting 12th row center and you're immersed in the crowd?
Well, when we first started mixing, I mean, Jimbo would bring the crowd up and we'd sit there and just listen to the crowd for, hours. I'm not kidding. It was just so overwhelming. And you hear things in the crowd. You hear people singing and cheering, and there's a whole other life to what's on there just on the crowd. So it really became essential that it was an integrated part of what the whole presentation of the concert was. It's not something that just flows in and out. It's there the whole time.
We will take a time out, and we will be back with Alex and Geddy in just a moment. Stay with us. Oh, that sounds so good. You guys sound like 1,000 people on stage. You really do. Rush in Rio, the double DVD, the triple CD. If you've not seen the DVD, you have to pick up a copy. And by the way, congratulations. It's triple platinum, which is really rare. Gold is good for DVD. Triple platinum's almost unheard of. We'll take another caller from Forest Hills, Pennsylvania. Tim, you're on Rockline.
Hi, Geddy.
Hey.
How are you, Alex?
I'm good, Tim. How are you?
Good. Okay, I want to get right to my questions. It's an honor to talk to you, first of all, both you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Geddy, I guess this one's for you mostly because I know you're a sports fan. I'd like to ask you and Alex both, what's your favorite Toronto team? The Raptors, the Blue Jays, or the Maple Leafs? I'd like to ask what you guys think of the Rush 2112 image bobbleheads, which I have a set of, I'm glad to say. And thirdly, what is your most difficult or challenging album that you guys have ever done?
Okay, well, as far as sports teams go, that's the easy question. I'm a baseball nut, so I love the Blue Jays. They're my number one choice. I'd have to say the Raptors second and the Leafs third probably, but I'll be hung for that as I leave the studio.
And I'm bringing the rope.
What was the second question? The bobbleheads. I'm glad you like those. We started that idea as kind of a joke. We thought, wouldn't that be funny? Because basically, you know, I'm always looking for great baseball bobbleheads, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny to do one of us? And of course, we had to do it in our most prog rock period in the 70s with the kimonos and the absurdly prophetic robes and all that. And, sorry, what was the last question?
Toughest record to make. Most challenging. Might have been Grace Under Pressure.
I would say, yeah, it's got to be between Grace Under Pressure and Hemispheres.
Yeah.
Hemispheres was really hard to make.
Yeah, very hard to make.
Yeah.
Did Grace Under Pressure get its name because of that?
Pretty much.
We spent I think we were in the studio for about 3 months, and we had one day off. The first Saturday we had off. After that, we worked every single day. That was a tough one.
But it was also tough.
Cold.
It was also tough because it's the first album that we did without our producer, Terry Brown. And he had produced all of our records up to that point. And we decided that we wanted to step out on our own and try new producers and see if we could learn more stuff. And we had arranged to work with a British producer who bailed on us at the last minute and really put us in a tight spot. And so all the time we were doing pre-production, we were interviewing producers. People were being flown in on a weekly basis. And in the end, we opted to co-produce it, kind of produce it ourselves with Peter Henderson, who engineered it. And it just was a very difficult job to go from having someone you trusted for, I guess it was 10 albums at that time, to doing it on your own. So it was really a hard record to make.
Alex, do you have a favorite Toronto team?
I'm not a really super big sports fan, but I have a soft spot in my heart for the Leafs. I always hold out hope for them.
That's well stated. Hold out hope. Maybe someday it will come around. Let's try to get one more on quickly here from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Joe, it's your turn to be on.
Hey, thanks very much. Hey, guys, you've been doing rock and roll for 30 years now, and I think we can agree you've got it down. Ever thought about branching into anything else, like maybe classical or some other form of music?
Well, I don't know. It's other forms of music. For me, I like working with other musicians, particularly with young bands, and I get a kick out of that. Sometimes it's a little too all-consuming, but I sort of enjoy that sort of thing, production and sharing kind of experience.
Yeah, I think in the future, I'd like to do some work on my own again at some point. I'd like to experiment a bit more with acoustic instruments. That's something that intrigues me.
I'm going to get one more song on. It's the big money. It's Rush and Rockline. We're talking about the big money. We're talking about Rush and Rio. More on Rockline. All right, it is Rockline. My goodness, the night has flown. Thanks to everybody for calling and for listening tonight to our affiliate stations. Thanks to everyone in Toronto for hosting the show, especially Dan Tuchek and Rob Farina. Also to Shelley Knott, Ray Daniels from SRO Anthem Management, to Glenn Fukushima at Atlantic Records, and of course to our guests tonight, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. Oh, by the way, Rockline is brought to you by thebigoverstock.com. Guys, fantastic. Thank you, as many listeners said tonight, for the gift and for 30 years of rock and roll. Thanks for announcing the 30th anniversary tour on our show, and it's great to talk to both of you again.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank
Always
you,
a
Bob.
pleasure.
And we've been talking off the air in voices like this all night long.
Yes,
so
that's
I'll
right.
say yes.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'm BC. I'll be seeing you. The awesome sound of Rockline was made possible in part by Sennheiser mics. Sennheiser, microphones, headphones, wireless products. Sennheiser, the sound that moves the world. Special thanks to Mike Higgins and Steve Fredrickson for their technical assistance. Rockline is mixed by Jimmy Rash. Thanks to Steve Lincoln and Felicia Bihar for their priceless contributions. Rockline is produced by Bob Coburn and Lori Nicolong. On-site producer and technical direction by Greg Jernigan. Executive producer Bob Coburn. Rockline is represented by Glenn Felty at the True Measure Agency in New York City.